Hi, my name's David McCann for WebTNG, and in this screencast I want to look at using the MetaBox suite of plugins to create a custom post type and using that together with Beaver Themer to create a template for the output. In WordPress, there are a number of options for creating a custom post type. You can do it by hand, and there are instructions in the codex for doing that. There are also a number of plugins in the WordPress directory that are popular for this purpose. One of those is Custom Post Type UI, and as you can see, it's got 500,000 plus active installs. It's pretty bare bones, but it does let you output the code that you can put into a plugin or your functions PHP file. Another popular choice is Toolset, and this is my favorite. Its Toolset Types is part of a suite of premium plugins. Another choice is Pods, which is totally free and has some child plugins that go along with it. And it's very popular in the Beaver Builder community. There is a plugin extension to connect your pods to Beaver Themer. Online, there are also some custom post type generators. This is just one. There are a number of them where you fill in some blanks and it creates the code for you, which you then copy and paste. And these fields are largely the ones that all of those plugins I just flipped through give you a UI for creating. Okay, so now that you know what the options are, let's talk a little bit about MetaBox. One of the things I should point out is that there are two parts to a custom post type. One is creating the custom post type itself and its features, and the second is creating the fields for your custom post type. Obviously, if you were going to use the exact same fields that are present in a regular post, there's not much sense to create a custom post type. But usually people want to add fields that are particular to that type of content. And by creating a custom post type, you group all those fields together, and they're not intermixed with your regular posts. So as I said, there are two parts to a custom post type. Now MetaBox, the core plugin, is only for creating the fields. And in that respect, it's a lot like Advanced Custom Fields. Advanced Custom Fields is probably the most polished and one of the most popular plugins for creating custom fields, but it has no ability to create the custom post type. And MetaBox, by having so many extra extensions, does give you that ability and a lot more. So if you buy the MetaBox bundle, they have a lifetime option. There are 18 extensions here. And so you see there's something adding fields to the user profile, for using custom tables in your database for your custom post type or custom fields, for adding revisions, for front-end submission, and so on. So this is all very modular, and that's geared towards developers. So you only are installing the pieces that you need. Okay, it also though means that you end up with lots of plugins in your plugins section of your WordPress website. And to counter that, or make it more convenient, there's a MetaBox all-in-one which combines all of these, and that's what I'm going to use. Now, I'd like to point out that the base extension, MetaBox, that you use for creating the custom fields is a free plugin on WordPress.org directory. And you'll see that metabox.io is the author, and they have 9 free plugins here. One is for using those fields with Yoast, for integrating with Facet WT, for adding fields to comments, for creating the custom post type. You see that's a free plugin. For creating the taxonomy, and for linking the MetaBox fields with the REST API. They're giving away quite a bit there for free. And if you go to the WordPress directory to search, I suggest you search on metabox.io, because you'll bring up a lot of plugins just searching on MetaBox. Okay, so I've prepared a clean WordPress site for testing. I've got the Astra theme here, which is my favorite, and I've installed a few plugins: Astra Pro, Beaver Builder, and Beaver Themer, and I've activated them and put in the licenses. So now let's install MetaBox. So here's the MetaBox all-in-one. Okay, when you install that, it's recommending that you install these free plugins from the WordPress directory. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's add those. Now, you could go to WordPress.org and install those yourself first or after, but I'm doing it this way just to kind of show you the experience. All right, so let's go and see what we've got here. All right, so we have a lot more plugins, and we activated those. Now let's look and see what we have, what it added here. It added this here, which is for creating a custom post type, and we're going to use that. It added this menu item here for creating taxonomies. And then it added this item here on the settings menu for the MetaBox all-in-one. So if you go here, you'll see you have the option for admin columns, for custom table, for front-end submission, for your revisions. So I know I'm going to want to use the revisions. So I'm going to want to use the builder to build our MetaBox that we're going to use with the custom post type. The group, when you're at the MetaBox website, there's documentation, and you can look at the documentation for these, and like here's revision, for instance. They all have this first section here on installation, and then it tells you what the plugin does, the extension does. All right, so I may have turned on more than I need, but anyway, one thing, all right, so let's go build a new custom post type. So our name is going to be books, book, and if you want to, that's all you have to do. I'm going to do the advanced, but let's just go here, and I'll use my initials, and I'll use that for the text domain. Now let's look at the advanced options here. These are the same kind of fields that we get on those code generators. Over here you have the items that it supports, so I want it to support the author, revisions, and comments, and I'll enable those default taxonomies rather than going over here and creating one. All the rest of these we'll just leave at the default. Okay, yes, we want it to be public. We don't want to exclude it from search. We want it to show in the UI, in the nav menu, in the menu. Sure, we can show it in the admin bar. If you're going to use Gutenberg, I think you might need to enable it in the REST API. Now, menu position, it wants here a number. So this is a little bit of a mystery here. Let's guess. We want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's say we want it to come under comments. I'm going to put in 5. I don't think that's right, but that's what we'll do. Here's an icon that looks like a book, so we'll use that for our menu icon. I want it to be like a post and not a page. I think the pages are hierarchical, so I'll just go for post. And I also think that may mean that it has the same kind of permissions and roles that you use for posts. If you wanted some custom permalink structure, you could do that here. All right, but let's try that out. Now I actually have MetaBox Premium, and I still get the ad. I didn't put my license key in yet, but this shows up anyway, so that's too bad. But let's publish that. Now here's one of the cool things about the MetaBox suite of plugins. If I wanted to, it generates the code for me. So if I wanted to, I could copy this and put it into my themes functions PHP file, or I could create a little plugin just for this custom post type. So I think that's pretty cool, and it addresses somewhat my complaint that there are a lot of extra plugins added into the plugin page, because if you did that, you could remove this and this and this once you've created it, and you would just have your book there. All right, so books, it put it here. That's what 5 means. I think there's probably something in the codex that tells you what these menu positions are. I know for Toolset, instead of having a number there, it has a drop down of the menu item, so you can pick where you put it in the list. But anyway, that's not a big deal. So we've got our book custom post type. Let's try adding one, and we're going to see something here. We haven't added any fields yet. So we created the post type. Now we need to add the fields in a MetaBox. So let's add new, and we'll call this book fields, and we'll save that. Now let's add some fields here. We're going to pretend that this is for book reviews. So the author of the review is the author of the book custom post type. But what we want to have here is the author of the book. We'll say book author. And we'll call this book author also, just to be consistent. They recommend that you use just letters and underscores, so we can add a description here and a default value that shows as kind of placeholder text, and if you don't change it, it will get saved, whether it's required and clonable, whatnot. Then here's the placeholder text, I guess, the size of the input box, the label, and other things that you can have here. You can add some custom HTML before and after the field, give it a class, and these are custom attributes. Clonable, I think that would be if you wanted to have repeating fields maybe. All right, so there's the book author. Let's add another one for book. Oops, this is the ID. Book title. And let's add one more. This will be the Amazon link for our affiliate link to Amazon if people want to buy the book. And I think that'll be it, just for demo purposes. All right, now let's go back and take a look at what we have here. And it's not showing up. Why? Oh yeah. We need to go to our meta box. And we need to say where we want to show it. Not there. Here. And so I don't want it on the post. I just want it on books. And now we have the option of where we want to show it, which is just after the content here. I'll click this autosave here. We're not using a custom table or custom attributes or conditional logic. So we're going to save this. And here's the code export for the meta box. So under the custom post type, you had the code export for that. Okay, so if you wanted to do away with those UI builders after you had done some testing and you were happy you had everything, that's an option there. So you can paste this into your functions PHP file or a plugin. I probably would create a plugin because if you change themes, then it would be a hassle. You might lose this code. But if you do decide to put it in your functions PHP, be sure to use a child theme so you don't lose it when your theme updates. All right, let's see if that was sufficient here to do what we need. It was. Let's enter some information here. I think I'm going to go to Amazon. And let's find a book that we want to use. Okay, so I found some book information. So we'll add a book. We'll put in some placeholder text for now. Okay. Just as our example here. And we'll add an Amazon link just because we're going to want to output that. I'm going to need to add a featured image. All right. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video, go add a couple more books, and then we'll move on to the Beaver themer part. Okay, so I've entered 3, which is enough so that we can do a single template and we can create an archive template. Just to look at one, we'll see that our custom fields aren't showing and the meta isn't showing. So we want to fix that. Let's go and now use Beaver themer, and we will add singular and let's see, is it book? Okay, we'll save that. We're going to now launch Beaver Builder. Beaver Builder has brought in the default fields. So that's cool. I don't want the author box. I haven't set up any categories yet, so I'm just, for the sake of this, I'm demo. Get rid of these extra dividers. Want to make something simple here. And that looks decent. So what we're going to do, this isn't really how I would lay it out, but just for the sake of keeping it simple, what I want to do now is add in our custom fields here. So let's add a row. And we're not going to do anything fancy. Let's see, what did we have? We had the author. Now with Beaver themer, you get these, and we could just, let's see, we want a custom field. So now you have to type it in. And if you remember, we called this one book author. Okay, and it output it there. Now, one of the nice things that the creator of MetaBox did is they created a bridge plugin for Beaver themer so that you don't have to remember the fields. Because if you had a complex custom post type, you might not remember them. So let's save this and go and install that bridge plugin, which I've already downloaded here, Beaver themer integrator. We'll activate that. Now let's go back to our I'm going to delete that and add the row again. Okay, so I want to add these fields from our custom post type. We had 3 of them, so just for the sake of demonstration here, I'm going to keep it real simple. So now, because we added the MetaBox bridge, we have this option now in addition to this one. And we're going to do title and save that. And we're going to do author. Save that. And we'll do a button. And for the link, we will add our Amazon link. All right, now let's save and publish. Okay, obviously, if you were doing this for real, you're going to take a lot more care on these. But let's just go and see how this turned out. Okay, so there are our things, and if we click on this, we go to Amazon. So that worked, and that is our demo for the single. Now let's go and do the archive. And this is for archive. And we'll want it for book archive. We'll save that. We'll launch Beaver Builder. And there they are. Let's make a little change here. Obviously, you have a lot of freedom to change everything you want. I'm just doing this as the demo. So that image, let's go to the thumbnail. I think we probably want to use a custom size. There, full size is too big. Let's say image width 25% if that brings it down. Okay, we'll even go smaller. Good. All right, so this is our archive, and this would be good enough. I think if we had other fields, we could add them. What we would do is we would create this archive manually and add these fields individually. This is just using the Beaver themer thing. But let's just go look at what this looks like. Okay, so this is the archive that we created. That's MetaBox and Beaver themer. I hope you found this screencast useful. There'll be links and other information on my website at webtng.com. Thank you.